Hi, everyone. So let's talk about this personal essay. Um, Please be aware that the first couple of weeks of this assignment will walk you through exactly how to do this. Okay? So you don't need to know this right now. It will become obvious as we go along. Okay, so to start with, this is a little bit weird of a personal essay. So I'm going to have you in this first week take a career placement tool test. It's something you might have done in high school, but this one's really cool. I've taken it a couple of times just because I like online quizzes. I know what kind of garlic bread I am. Thank you, BuzzFeed. So this career placement tool has been scientifically studied and will help you figure out not just like the kind of careers that might interest you or that you might be good at, but also like the kind of person that you might be. And remember, it's a computer, so like take everything it says with a grain of salt. But it's good at suggesting things. So you're going to take this career placement tool test and then you're going to write this essay. You are essentially going to think about yourself in the career that you are considering or that the career tool suggested to you if you don't have one in mind. And you're going to think about what it means to be you in that career. So, for instance, the personal essay is going to include introducing yourself, your interests, how those interests might be useful in that career or field, and essentially the basic details of what that career does. Remember that this is what I do for a living. So, this is what I know. So, if you're going to become a mechanic, I got nothing. I know nothing about it. So, tell me, okay? Then, two, a specific thing that interests me about this career or field and why it interests me. So, I've had some really cool answers to this question. Somebody told me once that they became a welder because they saw all the cool equipment and tools that a welder got to use and they thought that was cool. So, I think that's a perfectly reasonable answer. And you're just going to think about why it interests you. Now, remember that I am not asking you to like get married to this career field and like spend the rest of your life with it. I've had like 10 different careers before I ended up here. So I'm not asking you to commit, right? We're just going to explore it. And we're going to explore it a lot this semester. So try to choose something that you're genuinely interested in. In fact, try to choose something that you're interested in, even if it feels like something that you're not like really going to get the chance to do. You want to be a rock star? Then we're going to spend the semester talking about how you're going to be a rock star. Okay? That's cool with me. That's super cool with me, in fact. All right? Okay. Then you're going to talk about how does my identity fit into this career field? There'll be more information about exploring your identity, etc., later on in this unit. But essentially, think about like what it means to be you in this specific career. So, for instance, for me as an English instructor, people in this field tend to be females. We tend to be white. Um, but the people who are our bosses tend to be white males. There tends to be exclusionary hiring practices for people who don't have as much money growing up and therefore didn't attend the right colleges, etc. And so these sort of issues come into what it means to be me in this field. And how my day-to-day interactions with my coworkers, with my students, with the learning management system that is Blackboard, all those things are affected, sometimes very subtly, by who I am. So, like for instance, the fact that I have a disability and a chronic illness means that I interact with this field differently than other people might. And so I'm just asking you to think about who you are. And again, you don't have to reveal anything to me, right? You could make this up for all I care. What I'm asking you to think about is your identity and what it'll mean in that field. How does it help? How does it hinder? How do people oppress people like you or people not like you in that field? How do people promote people like you? How do people give raises to people like you? Right? So I want you thinking about all those things. And I get that they're like big questions. But please don't worry. First of all, there's a rough draft, right, of all of our assignments. And secondly, I don't know everything, right? I definitely do not know everything. So we're going to explore this together. There is not a wrong or right way in this assignment or any of our others to represent yourself or the career that you're going into. Okay, so please don't worry about that part. Then 4, how have my interests in this field changed since I looked up the above factors? How they stayed the same? So as you started to research whether people in your field are generally really, really tall, and you find out that like maybe 5'8", your height, is really short for that field, how does that make you feel about this career and about your prospects going forward, about what you think your career choices might look like? Will they change, etc.? Okay. And what other career interests do I have in this field or others? So again, I'm not asking you to say, this is the one career I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I am asking you to think about what you want to do. It's a big, big part of your life, right? So let's just think about it a little bit. Then, as I say in all of my assignments, I have some very simple instructions how to get a B on this assignment. And this is on the rough draft. Well, and actually the rough draft is just complete incomplete, so it doesn't really matter, right? Answer the prompt fully and directly. So go through each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're answering every single part of each of those questions. Use complete sentences, write between 300 and 500 words, and turn it in on time. Okay, how do I get an A on this assignment? I will do all of the above, and my capitalization, punctuation, and spelling will be near flawless. Use your grammar checker, right? And you'll be applying this week's lessons. So if we learn about something like the Oxford comma, you make use of the Oxford comma. If we learn about a certain argument structure, you make use of that argument structure. So I give you points for your ability to apply what you learn in class to the rubric. And we're going to go over the rubric again later. Don't worry. Just worry about this for now. And please message me if you have any questions whatsoever. Okay? I am here to help, not to intimidate. Good luck. Have fun.